What's up, everybody? Shauna D. Man here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great weekend. Auburn just beat Georgia on the road in Athens 70-68, giving Auburn their 10th quad one win, especially one that was on the road. Let's get into it because this was a very competitive game. Now Georgia's not a bad they're not a bad team. I think they were undefeated at home this season up to this point, but they're not a bad team, and it definitely showed in this game defensively. Like they held Auburn to 70 points, and I probably at the beginning and the outset of this game, I figured this was going to be a probably a close game, especially without Jedi Broom again. I think the spread in this game was like 5.5 points, but let's get into it because a lot happened in this game. Nothing too insane, but so Auburn wins 70-68. Um, I guess you could say probably the highlight person of the game was Tahad Pettiford, was 24 points. Didn't get much out of Chaney Johnson. Dylan Cardwell, he was on and off the court with it looks like it was cramps. He kept cramping up throughout. Really, I think maybe the second half is when I noticed it a lot more. But there were crucial moments where like you needed him in for at least for defensive rebounding more than anything. Chad Baker-Mazara, not a good game as well compared to what he has done the past two games with South Carolina and Mississippi State. But he made plays when he needed to late in pretty much early on in the second half. He had a couple of three-point shots that went down. He had a steal for a layup. So he made the plays when he needed to, when the team needed it the most. Denver Jones, relatively quiet game, 3 of 8, only 8 points. But you know what? It's again, he gave you something offensively. Miles Kelly, about his average points. I don't think it was like a quiet game for him. He made some shots for sure. Jaheim Hudson filling in, as the backup. He did enough. He only played 18 minutes. Ja'Kai Howard played 10 minutes. So he only gave you about 3 points. Surprisingly, Chris Moore only played 3 minutes. So that was interesting. And then obviously Tahad Pettiford was 22 minutes and 24 points. The thing with Tahad Pettiford is that he's a very talented basketball player. That is what's there's no arguing against that. But there are just moments almost in every single game. Probably it may have happened in the earlier games, but I can't really think of. But maybe like Texas, South Carolina, Mississippi State, and then today, where he just gets he gets really sloppy with the basketball. That ball security is not there where it needs to, and you see that he overdoes it sometimes. Like he had a 10-second violation today against Georgia. So there are just moments where he'll grow out of that. He's still a freshman. He'll grow out of that, and obviously he definitely will become a much more capable player in the long run for Auburn. But overall, not too bad. I mean, you had 3 guys with 3 fouls. I mean, it was just like, I know that what the box score shows, but it was just a very tightly contested game. Like in the first half, Auburn was up 24-8, and then just now officiating probably has some things to do with that as well. But just Auburn just slowly let Georgia get back into it, and I think at one point it was like a 15-2 run for Georgia. But again, Auburn having a roster full of seniors kept themselves composed. I don't think Georgia led at all in this game. Let me see. I think it's going to be play-by-play. I don't think Georgia – they did. They only led – it looks like they only led once, and that was at the beginning of the game. Yeah. Yeah. Looks like it. Looks like they only led at the tip off of the game, but other than that, it was all Auburn, pretty much all the way. So that says a lot. Auburn's also become a little bit. Their defense has been relatively good with Janai Broome being out. Now Janai Broome is still a very talented defensive player, but their defense has been really, really solid these past couple of games. Phil, let's look at Auburn, like, again, so 3-point shooting. This is about what they usually get each game. Usually about 10 makes, 21, 22, 23 attempts, or maybe 24 attempts, depending on the night. But they usually get about 10 makes a game. I think the only one that they didn't was the other day against Mississippi State, where I think they got 8. They're about 60% from free throws. If you make at least 4 or 5, maybe 4, maybe even, probably I would say maybe 4. If you make 4 of your free throw shots, Georgia doesn't really have much of a chance at the end of the game, because the ridiculousness of the ending of the game with Pat Adams and that officiating crew is just unnecessary. But anyway, rebounds, really both about even. Now, obviously, again, they're about even. Offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, they're both about the same, relatively close to one another. So assists about the same. Steals, Auburn had a little bit more steals. Blocks were the same. Turnovers about the same. Fast break points, Auburn led a little bit. Points in the paint, Georgia obviously took command of that, because Auburn, for the most part, like I said, was without Janai Broome. Dylan Cardwell was in and out of the lineup, and so you had to rely on a guy like Jaheim Hudson to kind of fill in that void for Auburn and Bruce Pearl. But I mean, he did a job. He did his job like he needed to. Fouls were about even, and then the largest lead for Auburn was 17. Like the ending of this game was just 10 seconds left, and then I think, if I remember correctly, an Auburn player gets trapped in the corner. They're not, because Georgia's not trying. They're trying to get the ball. They're not trying to like necessarily foul per se. Ball goes out of bounds. It's like 6 seconds left on the play clock or on the game clock. Pat Adams and his crew goes and reviews it. Puts 6 seconds left. And then I believe, let me go back. See, now I have to actually look. Because I'm trying to remember like how that ending went. Let me see. Because they God, I hate that. But this was like 0.3 seconds left in the game. And so, like, before this, I believe it was 6 seconds. So, Auburn player gets trapped in the corner. Ball goes out of bounds off of Auburn. It's Georgia's ball with 6 seconds left. Another thing happens. Ball, it goes back to Georgia. 3 seconds left, and then just. I mean, it was close.
Newell, just like that,
to going in. It's just insane. Literally insane. But Auburn does win the game by 2 points. Not I think this is like maybe the lowest margin of victory that Auburn has had so far this season. I think. I don't think anybody else has been within 2 points. It's usually been like either maybe 4 or 5 points or a blowout. I don't think. Iowa State, so that's the second one. And I think yeah. So there's only been twice this season where a team has been within 2 points of Auburn in a game, in a loss or in a win or whatever. And that's Iowa State and then Georgia. So Auburn's next couple of games, they have no midweek game, and then they're back home for College game day on Saturday with Tennessee. Probably will expect to see Janai Broome back at that game. Then they're on the road. They're back-to-back road games at LSU, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma, Florida. And so that back half is going to be pretty interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, so your next game, you get a couple of days off for everybody just to rest, relax, and just recuperate, and then you're back at home. More likely going to be a sold-out crowd, probably tents up in Pearlville. Janai Broome potentially being back. College game day. This is also Auburn football's junior day, I believe. So you're going to have a lot of 2026, 2027, maybe no, 2026, 2027 football prospects on campus that day as well. So it's going to be a very busy day down on the plains for sure. But it's a good win. It's a good win. You won 2 games against ranked opponents without your best player. Like, I mean, it's impressive. So he updated this yesterday. I haven't really paid much of attention to this just yet. So obviously he has Auburn as the overall seed. Let me see. So if the tournament was to start like next week, Auburn would be in the South bracket, which looks like the Atlanta area. Well, I think it's going to be in. Yeah. So got to go to Lexington, playing that little part against these teams here. Could potentially play North Carolina again. That would be interesting. Depending on how their season goes. And then there'll be round of 64 and round of 32, potentially play West Virginia or North Carolina. Then you'll get to the Sweet 16. Could potentially play Gonzaga or Michigan. That would be interesting. And then, so yeah, but we got a long way to go. A lot of things still has to play out in regards to that, to the bracket. So, but yeah, Auburn wins. That's all that matters. They went on the road. It's tough to win in the SEC on the road, but Auburn gets it done. Guys, that's pretty much it all I have for y'all. Be sure you hit that like and subscribe button, comment below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a good one.